Hey guys, welcome to another Bones & Co. dog vlog. Today we're going to talk about the most pivotal thing in raw dog food in almost all of history, in our opinion at least.
Absolutely. So we're really excited to be planting our flag out on the first commercially available ketogenic diet for dogs. And it's a huge deal because nobody has done this before, and the research is all pointing that this can help on dogs on so many levels and so many issues, have a real impact on the quality of life and their nutrition.
All right, so before we jump into what we mean by ketogenic raw dog food and just what that means to us as a company, I want you to close your eyes, really close your eyes, and I want you to think and picture a dog in your life, whether it's your dog or a friend's dog or a family's dog, that has been impacted by a metabolic disease.
Rachel's talking about metabolic disease. She's talking about cancer, diabetes, epilepsy, obesity, allergens. Like, the crazy thing with all of these diseases is that they're related to how the dog is metabolizing the food.
I want you, while you're watching this video, I want you to keep the picture and the face of that dog in your mind as you absorb this information and think about what you're gonna do next.
The crazy thing is too, if you think about it, I can guarantee you're 2 degrees of separation away from a dog that's either had cancer or is having cancer now. If you think about it, it's the #1 killer in our dogs. There's 16 million dogs this year are gonna be diagnosed with cancer, which is kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. That's 1 in 3 dogs. So the impact on our dog population is at epidemic proportions, and it's because of the way we're feeding our dog.
Absolutely, and this is something that nobody, or very few people are talking about, but we want to change that, and so this video is going to be the start of that and many more. We will have resources to everything we talk about linked down below, so you can check that out at the end, but let's just jump into this video all about our ketogenic raw dog food right now. Okay guys, so Ryan, the founder of Bones & Co., take me back to when you first started learning about keto raw dog food and kind of had that initial like, oh my gosh, like this is something we need to move on.
Absolutely. So I actually had a dog die of cancer, our first family dog, and it was a really sad thing. We didn't know any better. You know, we fed him grocery store kibble because we thought it was the best thing to do, and it's been such a revelation for me to understand how much diet impacts your dog's health. And so really, there's been some really great research out, primarily from an organization called Keto Pet. And so Keto Pet is basically a nonprofit foundation, and what they did is they went out and they took dogs that had terminal cases of cancer that were in shelters or up for adoption, and they took these dogs and they brought them into their facility. And it's a world-class facility. Like, we've been there. I've actually seen the facility myself, and they're doing really great things for dogs. And what they found out was they were tired of seeing our dogs die of cancer. And so they said, what is going on with our dog population? They sat down, they brought in experts from around the world, and they started giving these dogs the ketogenic diet. And with that, what was really important is diet and exercise were the only 2 interventions they used. No drugs, no therapy, no radiation. And what they found was amazing results. So actually, their flagship dog, Callie, had cancer. There's a really great video on YouTube. So it's amazing, at the end of Callie's treatment, with just a ketogenic diet and exercise, they actually rented $1 million PET scanners, the first of its kind used on pet cancer, and they found that they were able to shrink their tumors into remission. This dog, they can't find the cancer, and it's amazing just to see the results from pushing glucose down and raising ketones in our dog's diet. So it's pretty crazy stuff, and that had such an impact upon me, and I knew we had to do something better. And really, like, the industry's missed the boat on high-fat diets. People are afraid of fats because they think fat makes you fat, and it doesn't. Hormones and the imbalance of carbohydrates are having a negative impact on our dog population. So by increasing the fat, your dog actually goes into a state of ketosis, and that ketosis is really powerful because by reducing the glucose in your dog's bloodstream, you're actually reducing the insulin response. Your dog has to work so much harder to take that energy from carbohydrates and convert it into energy. When your dog processes kibble, they turn the kibble into glucose. And so that's really the driving factor. So a lot of people talk about grain-free dog food, and it really doesn't matter if there's grains or no grains. It's carbohydrate and starch load that's in the food that's causing our problems. So we want to take that out of the food and focus on a high-fat, moderate protein, zero-carb diet, or as low as we can with the carbohydrates. So that's like really the critical factor. And the real benefit is, by taking out the carbohydrates, your dog's not processing the food through glycolysis. So there's 2 metabolic pathways pathways that really humans and dogs metabolize the food in. One is through glycolysis, and that's the breakdown of carbohydrates broken down to starches and sugars. The sugar goes in the bloodstream, you have an insulin response. The insulin response then gets put into fat cells, and the fat cells then have to convert it back into ATP energy for the cells. With a ketogenic diet, your dog has a much more efficient burn. So it goes directly from fats to the liver, producing ketones to energy. So it's a way more efficient way. It reduces inflammation with the dog because the insulin response is lowered, and has a whole host of impacts to our dog's health.
But essentially, keto is very simple. It's not, to us, a diet, rather it's more of a philosophy. It's the way in which the dog lives his life and eats his food, and it simply stands for a higher fat, adequate protein, low to no carb way of eating, and it essentially transforms the way your dog metabolizes food. They're using fat for fuel over sugar, glucose, and carbs for fuel, and fat is a widely studied and widely proven premium energy source. And so that is why we're putting our stake in the ground on keto-friendly raw dog food and really trying to educate people like you who want to do the best for their dogs. So where we believe that the raw industry, the raw dog food industry has missed the boat is because a lot of companies are putting a higher amount of produce in their food versus fat and protein. And dogs will actually metabolize high produce raw dog food the same as kibble. So that's why Ryan made the decision years ago to start working on this extremely innovative and one of its kind ketogenic raw dog food. All right, so that leads me to my next question, which is what makes keto for dogs not just another fad or trend?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, Rachel. And actually, keto diet's been around for like 100 years. This is not a new thing. Doctors knew 100 years ago that this was helpful in treating diabetes and epilepsy. But what's happened is with the advent of drugs, it's more lucrative to prescribe a medication to treat a symptom than it is to fix a problem. And so now it's a resurgence of a diet that we know that works. So I know this is a lot. Don't get overwhelmed. It's actually, people come to me every day and say, what is in the dog food? What's so magical about it? And what's really, it's like, what's not in it? It's a really simple diet. It's just increasing fat, moderate protein, and low carbohydrate. And when your dog's in ketosis, magic happens. And so this is just the beginning. We've spent a lot of resources into building out a resource center and articles. We're gonna be doing a ton more videos. Really, our mission at Bones & Co. is dogs first always, and what that means is educating pet parents all over the world about how the food they're feeding their dogs can have a negative impact on their health, and there's a better way.
Absolutely, guys, and we are gonna be here with you along every step of the way. Like Ryan said, we're gonna have a ton of content from video to written to live Facebook feeds. So everything, all of it will be linked down below. And do not hesitate to reach out to us. They're a super small company. There's only 3 of us running this company. So if you reach out to any of us on any platform, we will be connected with you one-to-one. Excellent. I know that was perfect.
Have a real impact on their quality of life and their nutrition.
Absolutely.
No poll.
That's fine.
Okay, we're filming. Okay, so let's sit down. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for being a part of our day and spending some of your time with us. And do not forget to click that subscribe button so you don't miss the next videos on these topics. And we hope you have a great day. Thank you guys. Bye.